All right, today it begins. Our six-part series that takes a look at the hot topics of the day viewed through the lens of faith.
A panel of 6 faith leaders from different sides of religious spectrum sharing their opinions and insight.
And we gathered at the Greenville Museum of Art, and topic number 1 is a good one. Over the course of the last several months, it seems abortion has been in the headlines more and more, and mostly over the General Assembly and Governor Pat McCrory's law change. It stoked the fire in those with very strong opinions one way or the other. It's a social issue with very deep ties to religion. Now, I knew tossing this topic out there would launch a good conversation. Is abortion murder? And when does life begin? Faith leads many to the answers of those questions, but the Constitution's First Amendment separates religion from government. So, with our first conversation, is it fair for one faith to determine how people of all faiths should live? In Raleigh, we've seen a lot of protesting, Moral Mondays.
Children to abortion.
What does faith teach us about reacting to another side that disagrees with what we think?
74 having voted in the affirmative and 41 in the negative.
What about abortion?
In Judaism, the woman's health, the woman's life, an existing life, takes precedence over a potential life. And that's a very different viewpoint than other religions.
So when does someone become a human? Is it at birth? Is it at viability? Or is it at conception? And how you answer that is going to determine your answer on the abortion. For me, I think the easiest thing to say is it's at conception.
In Judaism, abortion is not considered murder. It is allowed. It's even mandated in certain cases if the mother's life, if the mother's health is at risk.
You know, I held in my hand my 20-week-old son who died in the womb just because the umbilical cord got, and over at Vidant. I held him in my hand. He was just so cute. And he had his mouth open, so I knew he was my kid because I'm always eating. But you know, I saw that 20 weeks, and I saw hairs on his back, fingernails. I saw all that. I'm like, man, there's something special going on in the womb. It's just amazing. It changes you. Like it's not just an academic thing for me. Like I'm looking at this special little guy, and it's like, man, how can we protect and bring those little guys to full life?
I would say, though, that we don't want to turn to the Bible for a scientific explanation.
Well, I would say this isn't science. I would say it's theology.
Life is science. Definitely.
No, I would say life is theology too, though, isn't it?
Spiritual.
I mean,
the spirit is certainly theological,
and the body
but theological isn't about the
this is
science.
Jewish theology from the beginning of time. Is
the Bible messes up on science all the time. All the time the Bible messes up on science. It was a pre-scientific age when it was written, so it's not completely surprising. So that's not what I personally don't want to turn to the Bible to figure out something scientific, which is when does life occur, because I completely agree that's the real issue here.
At the church, not the state, women must decide their fate.
It's how do we figure that spot out? But more importantly, I don't think one faith should be trying to put that on other people. I'm going to go a step further and say, I was just fine with just you talking because the rest of us are guys. This is a women's issue. You need to be the lead voice in this.
I don't know that it is a women's issue totally, though. I mean, no. Well, go ahead, Marcia.
Well, certainly. I mean, I think the women's should have knowledge and understanding, and it's their body, and they have to make the decisions and live with it.
According to Islam, it is not your body. Our body, our soul, our resources and wealth, according to Islamic belief based on Quran and teaching, is not ours. It belongs to the God Almighty, the Creator. Absolutely, abortion is only just to save the life of the mother. Under no other circumstances, Islam permits the abortion.
I'm all for the protection of a woman's life, and her safety during the birth and the childbirth process. But at the same time, I believe that conception, is the origin of life. And we need to eliminate the desire for people to have abortion. We need to educate people.
So, Father Quigley, it seems like we're in different places with that topic.
We are, and I think society is, and it's become so emotional, and the divide that is there. And it's hard to get down to the individual stories.
That's why Planned Parenthood, it's one thing, it's horrible enough to cut all the social service and network programs after a child's born, but even before. Planned Parenthood is being gutted, and that's prevented so many abortions.
And I think a lot of this is beginning to walk that narrow line of how much of our faith systems do we legislate?
Is it fair to legislate with our faith?
I would think that everybody who votes on laws in every legislature across the land is voting according to their inner conscience, which is another word for their faith. So I would say to turn around and say, you know, you can't, I mean, nobody can go to the legislature because everybody is voting their faith.
Anything you hear resonate with you? Do you agree? Do you disagree? There is a very good conversation already underway at WNCT.com and our Facebook page. Click in there and learn more about our panel and this project. Certainly let us know what you think, because we really want to know that. Tonight at 11, our roundtable temporarily turns into somewhat of an interview, as one of our panelists felt so passionately about the topic, he pretty much took it over and made some pretty amazing points. Tonight we're going to talk violence based on religion.